Hey everybody out there, and welcome back to another Dark Avenger Comic Book review. You guys know myself and Mike.
Yep.
And we are...
Oh, this one is going to be a good one. I am not going to upset you this time, so there better not be any little thingamajigs, but go ahead, show it.
2 episodes away?
What?
Well, at least it was the Mario Brothers.
Oh, thank you.
At least it was the Mario Brothers.
Here we go.
But the Marios don't have a comic series.
They have their own DVD, and they are considered heroes in video gaming and, well, not the movie-wise, because the movie-wise is probably never happened.
Are you trying to justify it to me?
Maybe. Let's continue.
Yes. So, we are reviewing books that were released on August 14th, 2013. Pardon my voice. We did have a long weekend with loudness. So, we only have the big 2 this week. No indies.
Nope.
So, we're starting off with Marvel. Maybe we'll start DC, take a break, come back, and what have you. You have books, I have books.
2 books this week.
Scarlet Spider issue 20. This is the issue you can definitely, absolutely, positively skip.
Really?
If you notice at the top it says Sibling Rivalry Part 2. Do you know where Part 1 is?
No, I thought that this was Part 1.
Nope, Part 2. Part 1 is in Superior Spider-Man Team-Ups. Number 2.
Why did they do that?
To make you buy the book.
I am.
Now, my good friend and co-partner on Dark Avenger Inc., Mike Spider Slayer, sent me the digital code for the Superior Spider-Man Team-Ups number 2. However, after redeeming it and going on to read it, apparently the Marvel digital site was having issues. So I was unable... Not only was I unable to read the Superior Spider-Man Team-Ups number 2, I was unable to get to my collection even. And I wasn't about to re-download the Marvel app on my iPod just so that I could read the 1 issue. So I have no idea how Part 1 started. I have it, but I haven't read it yet. This issue, I like the way Spider-Man is written by Christopher Young, but this story was stupid. Every time the Jackal's around, clones, Kane, Ben Reilly, something. It's always something with clones. I'm tired of the Jackal. Can we kill him now? The only time he was good since the Clone Wars was Spider Island, and he wasn't even the main villain. He was working for the main villain. However, I did like the artwork. I will say that. I do like the artwork in this book a lot. Trying to find a page.
Yeah. It's more like...
yeah. More like a paint style.
Yeah, I was trying to find the word for that. Like artistic way.
So I do like the artwork in here. There's a Gwen Stacy clone, of course. And Jackal's trying to make the perfect clone of Spider-Man, from what I gather from not being boring. Epilogue is leading into the next story arc, which is Into the Grave, which there are mentions that Ben Reilly is coming back. And then there's Epilogue 2, where basically the Jackal decides he's going to clone his own clone. He's going to have Kane. He's going to make a clone of Kane.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I see where this is going. Skippable issue. Missing. Avengers Arena, issue number 13. In this issue, Hank Pym is approached by the Runaways. Molly of the Runaways, by the way. And Molly wants her friends back. She believes that they've been kidnapped or something. That the people she's talking to are not her real friends. And she wants Hank Pym to find them. And throughout this entire issue, that's exactly what he tries to find out. If they're safe or not. And we get and I am going to spoil this, a cameo from one character whom we all believe was dead.
Oh.
Metal.
From issue 1.
Yep,
Wow.
from issue 1. But apparently, I believe he's a robot, or at least I'm led to believe that, because one of the other characters who's claimed to be missing is also a robot. So, in the end of the entire issue, skipping all the dialogue, because you guys definitely should be reading this, Hank Pym basically believes, okay, everything's alright. At least to his knowledge. Next issue, Boss Level, Part 1.
I like the cover.
With an awesome cover. So, sorry Molly, Nico and Chase are going to be missing for a little while longer. This is a spectacular issue. The only downside to Avengers Arena is it's ending. At issue 18 or 19, I don't remember which one, but it's ending.
Wow.
So that's the only downside to this series, is that it basically does have an end point. It's not really an ongoing. It was labeled as an ongoing, but I guess due to once they escape Arcade and Murder whatever it is, Murder World.
Yeah, Murder World. From what I remember.
There's nothing left for Avengers Arena. Maybe Young Avengers will come back in Wave 2. Maybe the Runaways will make a reunion in Wave 2 of Marvel Now. Who knows? Apparently Wave 2 is either supposed to happen at the beginning of 2014 or the very end of 2013. There is no additional comics other than the Mighty Avengers coming out for the next couple of months, at least until November. So we'll have to wait and see. Definitely recommend it. Wolverine and the X-Men, issue number 34. I called it. They say this is the conclusion in the descriptions. No. Part 4 of 5. This is the Pendulum issue of the Hellfire Saga.
Wow.
One more issue to go before Battle of the Atom, before this story arc is over. So don't believe that this is the conclusion, because it's not. It does still leave off with a to be concluded part. I want to make sure it says to be concluded. Yeah. So it is to be concluded in the next issue. Wolverine and the X-Men versus the Hellfire Club. Enough said. Cade Kilgore, I love it, gets the snot beaten out of him, not only by Idy, but also by Brew. So I like it. But everything's leading into the crazy explosive ending. Toad doesn't want to hurt Paige, but Paige definitely wants to hurt Toad in the worst way. And that's bad. Kitty's looking for the students, Wolverine and the rest of the X-Men versus the Hellfire teachers. It's just an amazing, amazing book. And then, at the end, Cade Kilgore officially loses his mind.
Yeah,
he's like,
yeah, I see him.
This is exactly what I wanted. This is why I made the Hellfire Club. And I love how the guys look at each other and they just reach behind their back. And well, yeah. Maybe I'll get what I want in the beginning of the next issue. Or in the next issue.
Yeah.
Also, there is a proposition laid down for Brew. Glob Herman finally gets what he deserves. And it's just a lot of good dialogue, a lot of good story in this book. This is the first story arc in a while that I've been enjoying from Wolverine and the X-Men, and quite possibly one of the, well, I don't want to say last, because I am reading Battle of the Atom, but after Battle of the Atom, quite possibly this is the second to last story arc, because I don't know where the X-Men are going to be after Battle of the Atom, but I don't think I'm going to be reading it. Any of the X-Men until things straighten out, because things are all over the place. You have Wolverine's team here, the all-new X-Men here, the Uncanny Avengers there, X-Force is somewhere all over the place. There's Cyclops and his group somewhere hidden away in an X-Force, an old X-Force base.
After describing that, now you got me confused. My God, that's like here, there, everywhere.
And then there's the X-Men, which are all the women.
And X-Men Legacy.
which is Professor Xavier's son,
Legion.
and X Factor's ending.
Oh, don't remind me of that. Why do you gotta remind me of that?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Thor: God of Thunder, issue number 11. Finally, the last issue of God Bomb. And this is doubling up this month, by the way. Thank you, God. It's finally over. The three Thors triumphant. Thor, present-day Thor, finds a way to bond with the black goop that Gore gained possession of and was using against the gods. And yeah, basically Gore is now powerless. And basically Thor, spoiler alert here, because if you didn't know this was coming, I mean seriously, absorbs all the bomb, the entire bomb he absorbs into himself, and he takes the entire brunt of the bomb. Lots of shocking revelations, not so shocking revelations. And Gore meets his untimely end. Who didn't see that coming? I mean, come on, did you actually think Gore was going to live? And then all the Thors go back to their known times. And next issue is the return to Midgard for Thor. That's the abridged version. Once again, this is the Thor God of Thunder book, meaning dialogue galore. And lots of reading.
So more talky, less actiony?
No. Lots of good action in the beginning, but lots of talky at the end also.
Okay. Makes sense.
So, this is a good series. Looking forward to the next issue. We'll see if after the next issue I stick around for Thor. As long as it's not a double-up book every single month, which I believe it's not, because by the time we hit November, I believe I only saw one Thor. We're good. So, we'll see where the next issue goes. It's going to be the prologue, or no, the epilogue to the God Bomb story. So, we'll see where the epilogue goes. I definitely, if you're willing to buy all 11 issues, definitely check out Thor: God of Thunder. If not, Jumping On Point is coming with issue 12. Oh boy, I don't know.
Oh. Really?
Infinity, issue 1 of 6. This book and the last book, both are oversized $5 books. And, yeah, they're big. And just to believe how many people are in this book, you have the free comic book day stuff reprinted in the very beginning. And then, of course, the intro page. And here's the roster of everybody in this book. I'm not even kidding. This is everybody in the book.
How are they gonna put all of them?
And by the way, I do appreciate the blank page, you know, every so often to chapter off what's going on. So apparently, first of all, if you're not reading Avengers and New Avengers, you're going to be completely lost. To be honest, I'm glad I read the first couple of story arcs in Avengers, so I kind of know what's going on when it comes to the Avengers stuff. But I'm glad I was reading New Avengers, or else I'd be completely lost with New Avengers. So, this was a very all over the place book. But of course connecting to Avengers and New Avengers. I don't even know where to begin to actually tell you guys. The creators, or I believe they're called the creators. I hope I'm right. I'm gonna see if they have actually a list.
Scrolls?
No. The builders?
I guess so. I don't see a name.
Basically the Galaxy Builders, not X-Noel, which we saw in the Avengers book, but his brothers and sisters, they're doing the opposite of what he wants to do. Whereas he wants to bring life and build up, they want to destroy it all. So the Avengers decide to go into space, and they go to the galactic...
Well, artwork's pretty good.
Yes, very good. I forgot what it's called though. The Galactic something. Here we go. Space Empire. Of course, if you haven't been reading New Avengers and stuff, they mentioned in New Avengers that Iron Man stayed behind. It's mentioned here also. So if you don't want any tie-ins like I'm not going to get, you don't need it. At least I don't believe. It'll help, of course, flesh out the story, but you don't have to get it. It's all explained here, which I like. So one of the hounds, I'm going to call him a hound or...
Green Allies or something.
Yeah, whatever. Of Thanos goes and delves into Black Bolt's mind and gains all this information about like the Infinity Gems being destroyed by the Illuminati and about some hidden what are they called?
The Infinity Gems?
No, they're hidden hidden kings and lost queens from the Inhumans. And then Black Bolt basically tells him, get the hell out of my mind. And yeah, a little bit of a fight ensues. And basically he escapes. The Avengers take off into space to seek the Council and to stop the Builders before they even reach Earth. Because if they reach Earth, it's a game over. And Thanos finds out that basically every single Avenger is... no longer on Earth because they're all in space except for Iron Man. So Avengers are going to be fighting in space and Thanos is going to be attacking the Earth. Long and short of this humongous $4.99 book with lots of stuff and everything all over the place. If you are not reading or haven't read any of the Avengers stuff in Marvel now,
or New Avengers,
any Avengers team.
Okay. Well.
Avengers, New Avengers. Let's put it that way, because those are the books that are connected to this. New Avengers and Avengers are the ones that are deeply connected. Because if you look at the checklist, there's a checklist in the back. And the checklist only makes mention of Avengers and New Avengers. Not any other tie-in. Now, personally... if you have not been reading any of the Avengers or New Avengers stuff, and you're not big on Marvel events, congratulations, this is your skip event. For me, it was Age of Ultron. So I'll probably end up coming back for issue 2, but if issue 2 does not interest me, all I'm reading right now is the New Avengers. I dropped the Avengers a while back. while back. So if this series just doesn't do it for me, if this starts to feel like a attempt at a follow-up to the Infinity Gauntlet or something like that, I'm done. I'm done with Marvel events because it seems now it went from once a year to twice a year to one event right after the other, right after the other, right after the other. Because even in the Ultimate Universe, we have Hunger, which is going right into Cataclysm. And now we have Infinity, which is going to go on until October, November, because it's 2 a month. There's 6 issues, or yeah, 6 issues. 2, 4, 6. No, it's going to go on until October. I'm scared. What's going to happen in November and December? Another mini event?
Well, there's always events in Marvel.
I hope not. But seriously, Marvel, you got to chill back on your events. You're doing way too many, and your time stream just exploded. Cut it out with the events after Infinity for a while, please. Give the readers a chance to enjoy their comics without having to read a universe or status quo or whatever changing thing. The more they do this, the more I believe that they're going to lead into a relaunch at some point. Or a reboot.
Oh God, I hope not.
I just get this feeling that there's a reboot coming.
There better not be.
Does anybody out there feel like a reboot's coming? I know a lot of people disagree with me that Marvel will never reboot, that they're going to just continue forward, or they'll kind of fix something, but they will never reboot.
Before they hatch, because it might just happen.
Thank you. At least I'm not the only one.
No, I agree with you 100% because of all these events. It's like crazy.
This was all over the place and a waste of pages. Some of the pages, I mean, look at this. Every chapter is a waste of an entire page.
You know, they should put a disclaimer if you're reading
waste of a page.
They should put a disclaimer. You should get this book if you're reading Avengers and or New Avengers.
It is mentioned.
In the disclaimer?
Yeah, and I love how the first page, a Marvel comic event. Thank you for clarifying. And then the whole beginning is basically what happened in New... Look at this. New Avengers for 2 pages. Another white page. Let's see how many pages I can go without having a white page. A double white page.
A double white. And then there's another
white
with
page.
The roster.
That's already about 4 pages of our story that we're taking out.
So, some of the pages.
Another white page.
I mean, we're not being picky. We're actually just.
Another white page. Already, you're giving us 40 or 50 something pages.
It's like actually reading a book. Like a.
Yeah, but these are all pages that could have been used for story. Another white page.
Might as well put a script in it while they're at it. Or something colorful instead of something white.
And that's it, and then
like,
you're at the end
something
of the book.
like that, maybe. But.
So for an oversized book, about 7 pages are title pages. Not counting advertisements and everything else that are in the book. I leave this book up to you guys. If you're not reading Avengers and New Avengers, just skip it. This didn't even come out of Age of Ultron like I thought it was. It's skippable. You don't need to read it. And I'm sure if you're reading Nova or Guardians of the Galaxy, which will have tie-ins to Infinity, it's not going to matter. They'll be their own contained story. The main focus is right here. I'm getting the next issue just because I skipped the other Marvel event. But if issue 2 is as stupid as this, I'm done.
You know, these tie-ins are getting a lot confusing for those people who don't read the titles.
No, I have no time. I don't got time. Ain't nobody got time for this. Ain't nobody got time for that. Especially because Villains Month is coming.
But that's DC Comics.
Right! Who's going to have the time to read Infinity and pay for Infinity when Villains Month is going to be 52 issues of 52 different villains?
Unless they wait for the trade paperbacks to come out. And those are going to be sold out before you know it.
Infinity has to prove that it's going to be a good event or else everybody's going to drop it because of Villains Month. That's what I'm saying.
Or they can do that one way or the other.
And with that, we are going to go to our commercial break and then we will come back. We are actually directly in the middle.
Oh, wow.
Literally. And when we come back, we will be doing DC Comics. Actually, really quick, before you cut off, there is one book that I'd like to make mention from DC. It's digital first. It's Smallville, Season 11, issue number 16. I know you're behind the camera now. The introduction of Wonder Woman in the Smallville universe. And the best part of this book, more than the actual story itself, which was really, really gripping, and it involves Clark's mother, who is a senator. What really is gripping in this book is the artwork, which I would love to find the picture that I was thinking of, but still I'm having trouble finding. Here we go. DC, if you are planning to fix things in the DC universe at some point, this is the way you should change Superman. That is an awesome costume. An awesome redo or an awesome setup for the costume. No collar. You want to keep the underwear off, keep the underwear off. Maybe change the S on the cape to yellow and the yellow on the belt. This is a perfect remake or redo to the costume without really changing too much. It gets rid of the underwear at least, so you guys don't have to worry about people making fun of the underwear. Here's another standing picture of it. And I also like how the artwork in this book has now matured from Superman looking like Tom Welling from Smallville to Superman actually growing up a bit more and looking like Superman from the comics. So Lois Lane and Superman are looking for the people that attacked his mother at the beginning of the book, and his mother was also ironically saved by none other than Wonder Woman. And Lois Lane finds Wonder Woman Fight breaks out. Superman shows up. Steve Trevor. There's a whole connection between him and Wonder Woman when they were kids. And yeah, I'm not going to give the last page away. That's something else. But there is something lurking in the darkness. And then we get, of course, the next... I believe this is all the way to the end of Season 8. So next issue is going to be Season 9. So, we get all of that. So that's just a quickie. I wanted to throw the digital first book out there before we went to our commercial break because it's a really awesome issue. Highly recommend if you are a Smallville fan, if you are a Superman fan that buys all the super books, this is definitely something you want to check out. Even if you're a casual reader, the stories in this are really good. If you'd rather read it digitally, you can read all 4 chapters throughout the month. Every week there is a new chapter. I believe now we are in the 2nd week of August. That means the 2nd chapter of the next book, issue number 17, is out. I'd rather wait for it to come in paper form. This way I don't have to pay twice. Highly recommend you guys check it out. Loving it. If you love Smallville, you will love this series. And now, we will be right back after this commercial break with the rest of DC Comics. So stick tight, we'll be right back. Hey everybody, and welcome back to this week's Dark Avenger Comic Book Review, and ironically, your book, your first of 2, is next.
Yes. Constantine, issue number 6.
I'm curious, did you actually enjoy this?
I actually really did. I mean, from dropping
It's very hard
comic,
to displease him.
What is that supposed to mean?
It's very hard for you not to be, you know, satisfied.
Well, I mean, the comic is just like, it's just really good. I mean, there is some, you know, graphic parts of it, but other than that, it's really good. So, long story short, John Constantine meets up with his friend Chris in the comic book. The spear versus spear fight, so to say. No, not you. This Chris. And he has some powers that he came up with. Meanwhile, the Cold Flame is having a gathering where Sergeant is the leader, and his assassins are saying that they have found that John Constantine has been is at the edge of the death, and they want to claim him before you know, because they don't want him to die.
Before he dies?
Right, they want to claim him because the Cold Flame has a lot of history between him and John Constantine. So they find the body, but Lloyd stops them, and him and Chris, John Constantine and Chris have a little bit of a fight, and demons take him away while Sergeant's trying to look for John Constantine and all that other stuff. Then we get Papa Midnight, who makes an appearance, and he doesn't seem to like John Constantine. I mean, not everybody really likes him. I mean, Swamp Thing doesn't like him, and now this guy's like...
Nobody likes John Constantine.
Like he's saying, I can help him, but why should I? Which gave me a little bit of a... Okay, there's a bit of a thing now between each other, but he helps him out, and spoiler in the end, Sergeant is there, and things don't look so well, if it's going to lead to Villains Month and all that. And you can check it out, of more my in-depth review on Dark Avenger Inc., but this story was really interesting. I recommend you check it out, and it's a series I'm going to be sticking on to reading, so yeah.
We're going back now. Superboy issue 23. Before you guys start getting excited, oh my god, Superboy is going after that clone or the other Superboy from another dimension that was shown during the gatefold covers. Relax. Nope, not yet. Relax. Stop buying 5 copies of this book.
Okay.
So, Superboy's mind is basically being manipulated. The monsters he's seeing are actually people. And he's blinking in and out from seeing them as monsters to seeing, you know, the truth. he believes he's being attacked by a clone of himself, a second clone, and it turns out that that second clone is not real either, but the artwork's really nice.
Yeah, I like that picture.
Yeah, the art style is very nice. And finally, towards the end of the book, Superboy snaps out of it, but we get to see a new supervillain make his New 52 debut. And for those of you that, like me, were introduced to this character during Crisis on Infinite Earths, I believe this is the same character. I believe. I could be wrong. Spoiler alert here. Saying hello to Psycho Pirate. New 52 version. Next issue, Psycho Pirate versus Superboy. And Dr. Psycho is down because Superboy thought Dr. Psycho was trying to hurt him. So basically Superboy knocked out Dr. Psycho. Little does Superboy know that Dr. Psycho is actually a villain. And probably during Psy War, that's when he's going to figure it out.
But he's also a part of the Trinity War.
Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
I'm just saying.
Interesting book. Looking forward to the next issue. Really, that's all I can say for that. Next, we have Green Lantern Corps issue 23. John Stewart and the other Green Lantern rookies are ringless. However, one of the recruits is able to escape long enough to get the rings back. Well, not really. She doesn't really get them back. But the rings become free after one of the executioners decides to swing his axe down and, yeah. So, bad things are happening to, oh God. Why did her name completely just...
Star Sapphire?
Yeah, Star Sapphire, but I forgot her... Fatality.
Oh.
Bad things are happening to her. I'm not saying it here. While on Oa, Kilowog and Salak are trying to get to the bottom of why the rings fluxed off for a while and then fluxed back on again. John Stewart and the other recruits escape the planet, just barely. Star Sapphire or Fatality, with every last amount of power she had left, is able to tether her way back to John Stewart on Oa. And thank God they take care of her. And then we get to see Ion. And here's the artwork for you. Things aren't looking too good for Ion. And it turns out, spoiler alert here, and this is all leading into Lights Out, the entities of all the lanterns are dying. So they're all leaving and going home to die.
And that's how the whole thing's going to be the... Wow.
To be continued in 2 months in Green Lantern Corps issue 24, but not before 23.1 reveals the background on Relic. So look forward to that. A couple things here and there I left out, but for the most part, John Stewart's character... I'm not saying that he's boring to read, but like I said, this is one of the lower tier books of the Lantern books that I'm reading right now. But at the same time, it was an interesting issue, and it is all, of course, once again connected to the major event that's going to be happening in Green Lantern in 2 months. I feel like Green Lantern books are like Marvel right now. Event after event after event.
Well, Green Lanterns have a lot of events.
Too many. I think after Lights Out, DC guys, writers, do your own stories for a while in your own individual books. I'm not saying don't have any events whatsoever, but for God's sakes, give them some time apart. You know, stop with so many events leading into other events. You know, like Jeff Johns knew what he was doing. I'm not saying that, you know, he did do event by event by event, but he did a lead up to it. This is just literally just started, new writers and artists, and already, let's get the first event out. Relax. But Lights Out, let it happen, and then after that, just give the Lantern Corps a chance to just settle down in their own individual books. That's how I feel. Next, Batgirl issue 23. Well, there is no Batgirl in this issue. Barbara Gordon's out having the time of her life, shopping and, you know, just enjoying life for the first time without having to be Batgirl. While at the same time, Jim Gordon goes to, I believe these characters are called this character is called Nightfall, and she's a vigilante, and apparently she's one of Batgirl's enemies or something. I don't know. I haven't been reading Batgirl long enough to know. But they want her surveillance tape for proof about Batgirl killing Jim Gordon's son, and it's still haunting Barbara, by the way, because to scare up a couple of guys that were chasing them, she breaks a plate, and the plate is in the exact same shape as the Batarang she threw at her brother, and she's like, every time I'm having a good time, that memory comes back. And it turns out that Barbara's boyfriend, or at least that's what I'm led to believe, those people they beat up in the last issue, yeah, the gang took the brother, the Ricky's brother, so now he has to go save his brother, but not before breaking up with Barbara, and Barbara goes after Ricky because she knows what he's doing. And Jim Gordon goes after Ricky because Ricky's the next person on his talking to list, or interview, or whatever list. And let's just say this is like, these two pages are like the ending of the book. Crazy and all over the place. Between Nightfall and Ricky trying to save his brother and Barbara dressing up as a ninja? To try to save Ricky, and not really doing a good job of it by the end of this issue. But she tries to save Ricky at least, and her father, I hope they don't make it look like Jim Gordon's going to go over the edge. That's my biggest fear.
Well, sometimes
that they're going to
it looks like he's going crazy.
Yeah, because when your son was killed.
Well, yeah, I mean, well, Batman was, and his part with.
I would love to also mention, I love these painted covers. These are really nice covers. I more can't wait to see Barbara Gordon back as Batgirl, and of course, it's probably going to happen by the end of this story arc. Once this whole Jim Gordon versus Batgirl thing happens.
They're not going to pull a Batman where Batman and Bruce Wayne thing happen. Oh, okay, because I thought they were doing that.
No,
kind of.
Not at all. So I'm looking forward to the next issue of this. Nightwing 23. I feel like in this issue, Nightwing was a little bit out of character. Written out of character. In this book, he had a very sarcastic, Spider-Man-like attitude. He's fighting all these people that are working for the prankster, and he's just being very, very sarcastic throughout the entire beginning of the book. Even the woman he saves, he's like, and here I thought we had chemistry. He grabs the girl, he's like, tell you what, I'll forgive you this time if you prove to keep all the future building leaps to 10 stories under what? Nightwing was never that I mean, yeah, Nightwing is a sarcastic guy. But like the sarcasm for Nightwing it continues throughout this entire book all the way until the very, very end. Right until the very end. Nightwing's sarcasm it goes all the way through until
well, it looks like he was serious in some of them.
No.
Wasn't?
His sarcasm goes throughout the entire book.
Maybe because I've been reading Spider-Man comic books a lot. Maybe that's why.
You should have got a bigger boat.
Alright, well that there is...
Even here. It's just, he was very out of character. Also, what was his name? Tony Zuko's wife figures out who he really is, and why they're not in Chicago at the moment. They're in Wisconsin, and she decides, I'm going home. You can stay or you can come, whatever you want, but you can't keep running from your responsibilities. And she finds it ironic because that's what he keeps telling his son. You can't, you have to take responsibility for your actions. The mayor is getting attacked by not only his peers about the money and everything, but he's also finally attacked by the prankster himself. So the mayor's in trouble, Chicago's in trouble, and by the end of this issue, you find out that in order to save the city, Nightwing's going to have to team up with, spoiler alert here, Tony Zuko. So, I really, and what sucks is it's not even coming out next month. I have to wait till October before I get the next issue because of Villains Month, before I can read the next issue of this. But to be continued in 2 months. Oh man, what a way to leave you off for 2 months. This is a perfect way to leave you off. It's like, I want to know now, and I'm not even going to find out next month because of Villains Month, so this is crazy. But this is good. Just chill out on the sarcasm with Nightwing. You made him a bit too sarcastic.
Or Spider-Man, like you said.
More like a smartass instead of a sarcastic kind of funny. It was more of a smartass kind of personality. I don't know. But anyway, Mike, since you only have one book, I'll let you talk about this first, and then I'll put my 2 cents in.
Yep. Continue on to Trinity War, Part 406, Justice League of America, number 7, which is going to be another mural page with.
Yeah, the 3 books are going to come into one again.
Yeah, and I like the gloss.
And this month, instead of it being the order it was last time, it's Justice League of America, Justice League Dark, which is next week, and then Justice League at the end of the month.
Yeah, so it starts off where Lex finds out about, you know, Superman of the whole Hughes thing, gets a little bit jealous. Then he meets up with Pandora, and Pandora gives him a box to...
or is about to give him the box.
Right. And we meet up with Dr. Psycho, and this is a nice page here. Artwork's fantastic. And they want to find out answers about Dr. Psycho, because the question... and Superman were going to go after.
Yeah, they believed it was Dr. Psycho who actually manipulated Superman to killing Dr. Light.
And this
panel, Superman is getting worse and worse and worse.
And he just does not look so good, but we try to find out a little bit about Dr. Psycho while...
there is a connection to Phantom Stranger.
There is a connection.
And Justice League Dark with the House of Mystery.
Are you done? Because you're making me confused, but yeah.
And Pudding.
It is the Phantom Stranger it is connected to, from what he says, and if you want to know what happens to Phantom Stranger, you have to read this or read the Phantom Stranger issue. So we find out, spoiler, that Dr. Psycho was not behind this, but he did give a clue
that he's an ugly little man.
That, and also that the Secret Society played a part of it.
And Adam admits what the Justice League of America really is.
Yeah, and if you want to find out, you could watch my in-depth comic review. Wonder Woman finds Pandora with the box, and Lex wants to get possession of the box, but lo and behold, it is Wonder Woman.
Next issue, Wonder Woman versus somebody.
And that'll be continued in Justice League Dark issue number 23. For some reason, I never called it, but I predicted in my mind for some reason Wonder Woman was going to have possession of Pandora's box. I don't know how. I should have called it, but anything I see from now, I'm going to call it. But all in all, guys,
really good event.
Yeah,
this is how you do an event without it having... See, if you notice, there's no book from Marvel or from DC that says Trinity War. It's all happening in 3 books. Avengers could have done it with a crossover between Avengers and New Avengers, but no, there is an Infinity book on its own. You don't see a Trinity standalone series, mini-series. It's all happening in the Justice League books.
Yep.
And yes, it is leading into Villains Forever, which is a solo comic, but Villains Forever is not connected to any other books except for anything that's connected with Villains Month, which I believe is Teen Titans and Suicide Squad.
Yeah. But this is really recommended, and this is my book of the week.
Highly recommend you guys check out Trinity War. It's a spectacular series.
It's getting there, so can't wait to see what happens in Justice League Dark.
And just so we don't conclude on your book, we're going to go into Batman, issue number 23, which is the 0 year. The Red Hood gang knows that Bruce Wayne is alive now, and Edward Nygma basically did that on purpose so that Bruce Wayne would be killed by the Red Hood gang. And Bruce gets the snot beaten out of him and shot. He escapes back to the mansion where Alfred does his very first patch-up job, and Edward Nygma explains to Bruce's uncle that he had planned this all along. So these are the first steps of Edward Nygma stepping into the Riddler, and I love how Bruce's uncle says that Edward Nygma is and always will be nothing but an empty question mark. And that's where you see him thinking, and he goes, goodbye, and he walks out. Alfred, like I said, does his first patch job, and you get to see the beginning of Batman and, you know, Alfred. It was a very Batman scene. And then basically Bruce goes to his father or his statue and says, "I'm failing. I thought I knew how to do this, but I don't. I'm lost. I've squandered what our family's built. I've fought my war foolishly. If there's a way back, Father, if there is, what is it? How do I do it? I can't wait any longer. There's no more time. Show me." And then he finds the little camera or the sphere camera that his father had from years ago, and the one that fell into the cave, and it turns the mansion or the room into a cave. And Bruce finally takes his first steps into the Bat. And I love his lines here, and I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it here, but we all know what's going to happen by the end of this anyway. He's like, "Yes, Father, I shall become a Bat." And in the next issue, Birth of a Legend. And you get to see Bruce Wayne sitting in the chair watching the Bat fly towards him. Now, the secondary story I did not have time to read, so I don't have any opinion on it, but it is very short and basically fear.
Fear?
That's what it's about. They're afraid of Bruce Wayne. The people that he's fighting. I don't know, I have to read this after the comic review. I did not read the secondary story in this book, but it pales into comparison. And once again, it's Bruce Wayne before he came back to Gotham. Not right now.
Okay.
But next issue, The Legend Begins. And this was an awesome, oh my god, the artwork was great. The story, the setup, everything. It reminds me a lot of the Batman Phantom Mask, or I forgot, the first movie where Bruce Wayne became Batman. Do you remember that movie? It was the animated series Batman. The first movie, Mask of the Phantasm.
Yeah, wasn't that the year one thing?
Sort of, yeah. Where there were always flashbacks of Bruce Wayne when he was younger and when he became Batman.
Oh, yeah, the Dark Knight one, I think. It was the animated, yeah. I think I...
No, it wasn't the Dark Knight, it was the Batman, the animated series.
Was it?
But this gave me that feeling again, and that feeling was that movie was awesome, and this setup is spectacular. Love the cover also. However, I don't feel that this series should be hiked up to $4.99, $7.99 price tags, but what can you do? And DC knows they could get away with it, so that's the only downside to this series, is they're going to start milking more money from it before the series is actually done. But I highly recommend, highly recommend you guys check out, at least if you're going to check out any Batman title, check out the Batman title. And in November, there's going to be a ton of tie-ins to Zero Year, Green Arrow, Action Comics, Flash, just a bunch of tie-ins, so lots of big stuff. But with that, that's it for this week, guys.
Okay, so see you later.
So let's run through these books really quickly. Batman issue 23, awesome, definitely something to check out, as well as Justice League of America issue number 7.
Interesting issue on Book of the Week.
Nightwing number 23, cut back on the sarcasm, but a really good read. Batgirl 23, another really good read. Leave it up to you guys. Green Lantern Corps 23, the lower of the 3 Green Lantern titles, but still has reader's value, so I leave that up to you guys. Superboy 23 was a fun read. I leave Superboy up to you guys. Constantine number 6.
I found it a great issue. I can't wait to see what happens next.
Smallville issue 16. If you're a Smallville fan, you will absolutely be checking it out. Infinity book 1 of 6 did not leave me with that oh so special taste in my mouth where I say, oh, this is going to be a good miniseries or a good event. So we'll see where the next issue leads. But if the next issue leaves that bitter taste in my mouth, probably end up dropping Infinity. Up to you guys. Thor God of Thunder issue 11. We are finally done with the God Bomb story arc. Next issue, which is coming out in 2 weeks, is the epilogue, and then we are completely done with it. I leave it up to you guys, but this was an awesome read. Lots of dialogue, though. Wolverine and the X-Men issue number 34. I called it. It's issue 4 of 5. So this is not the conclusion. This is the Pendulum issue. The next issue is the conclusion in 2 weeks. But the best, one of the best series coming out of Wolverine and the X-Men in the past couple of story arcs. So definitely something to check out. Avengers Arena issue 13 was another fun read. I leave that up to you guys. And Scarlet Spider issue 20 is the one book you can afford to skip from Scarlet Spider, especially if you're not reading Superior Spider-Man team-ups. Don't forget to check out comicrelated.com, your #1 source for comic book news, reviews, and a whole bunch more. Also, don't forget to check out Dark Avenger Inc. That is youtube.com/Dark Avenger Inc. We all try to give you guys as many videos as we can each and every week. If you haven't already, please do subscribe to Dark Avenger Inc. This way we're in your sub box and you don't miss out on a single video. The .com is coming along. It's just coming along at a slower pace than we thought, but we do not want to open up the website or bring it to life until we are at 110%, which will hopefully be soon. 2 episodes away from 200, now 1, because this episode is done. Big things coming at the very end of this month and the very beginning of next month. But thank you guys so much for sticking around and watching. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think of the comics I reviewed here, or comics I didn't read that you'd like to see me read or discuss or review or what have you. Let me know in the comments below as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care, keep reading, keep collecting, and I will see you guys in the next review. Take care, everybody. See you guys soon.
Later, guys.